At the beginning of his gospel, St. Mark quotes the prophet Isaiah and links the prophet's words to John the Baptist. John's young cousin from Nazareth accepted baptism, a symbol of purifying but also of birth, as it were, coming up out of the waters of the womb into a new life as God's beloved Son. The attraction of John the Baptist is compelling. People flock to him, not to be flattered, but to be told the truth. They listened because of what they saw, a man who was indifferent to the world's prizes, a man of minimal needs who could not be bought by pleasures, comforts, or money, but passionate about God. They recognized holiness. John the Baptist preached forgiveness. This is one of the special themes of Advent. We are a forgiven people, and we welcome with gratitude the impact of that forgiveness on our lives. We do not have to carry forever the burden of our sin. We can move on to a life of care, compassion, love, and joy. Every baptized Christian is meant to be a John the Baptist, to prepare the way by removing all the obstacles so that Christ can reach the hearts of others. This means changing our minds and our lifestyles so that others can receive forgiveness of sins and enter into the new life of the kingdom. Changing our lifestyle because we must be permanently reforming our lives, bringing them more and more into line with the teachings of Jesus. Changing our words because Christians must be people of encouragement, helping others to overcome any barrier so that our lives fall more and more into line with the teachings of Jesus. In this way, Christians become people who bring the hope of Christ to a world which needs to have someone in whom to hope. What is there about our lives that devalues our words and makes us less convincing? The saints whom we are called to imitate has lived down the centuries and throughout the world. In their lives and their words, they gave hope to people who needed to hope. Today, in a society where so many are living without purpose and without hope, it is important to remember and thank God for the bearers of hope, and at the same time to be bearers of hope ourselves. What are we waiting for? Growing older may make us more aware of the value of a useful retirement and of the need to prepare, especially in this Advent season, for a happy eternity. Advent celebrates the creative waiting for God in our lives, heeding the call to spread justice, peace, and love. Many people and circumstances can play the role of John the Baptist. We hear his voice in the homeless, whose plight cries out to us, in those who have lost part or all of their income through the pandemic, in those living with the loneliness of old age. Advent is a time of waiting, creative waiting, when we can sharpen our spiritual senses, alert for a word of prophecy or proclamation, however quietly spoken, in our hearts and consciences. What are we waiting for? When we realize that God loves us, it is indeed like the start of a new life. As we hear his voice, we know we have a purpose and a destiny. In the wilderness of our lives, let us, as grateful, forgiven people, ask that we may always witness to light and truth and love. What are we waiting for?